The UN body responsible for forming mining rules in the high seas finished its meeting on Friday local time in Kingston, Jamaica. Brazilian oceanographer Leticia Carvalho was voted in as the new Secretary General at the International Seabed Authority meeting, replacing two-term head Michael Lodge, who's been criticised for aligning with seabed mining companies. Caleb Fotheringham spoke with Greenpeace Aotearoa deep-sea mining campaigner Jerry Lee about the meeting.
This last week was the ISA Assembly, so that's the broader grouping of countries meeting, and that included one of the biggest decisions discussed at the ISA Assembly was the election of the new Secretary General. So Leticia Carvalho is a ocean scientist and had a landslide victory over the current sitting Secretary General Michael Lodge. What difference will that make? Well, Leticia Carvalho is essentially pro-deep sea mining. Brazil, where Leticia comes from, is pro-deep sea mining. However, we do hope that with her occupation, her background, that there will be some caution. We are really hoping that any decisions made around deep sea mining are made with the best available science, and we are hoping that Leticia Carvalho will be really championing that.
In terms of NGOs, environmental NGOs I'm talking about, is Leticia Carvalho the preferred choice out of her and Michael Lodge?
I think it's too early to say. I appreciate that Leticia Carvalho has a background that could be helpful to these discussions. But, I think it's really important that we continue to put pressure on whoever it is in that position and to keep encouraging them, whoever that is, that they must put the health of the oceans and the health of the seabed at the heart of the ISA and all of the discussions and all of the decision making.
Another thing that happened during the Assembly meeting was there were more countries joining the call for a moratorium or at least some sort of precautionary pause on deep-sea mining. Tuvalu, they joined the call for that. How are you feeling about this growing list of countries?
I'm feeling very hopeful. I did very much celebrate Tuvalu's decision as well because it is a turnaround on an earlier pro-deep-sea mining. I feel very hopeful, particularly about the growing movement amongst the Pacific and seeing our Pacific civil society really working hard to look after their home. Where for Pacific Island nations and Pacific peoples, the place that they call home is mostly the ocean. So it's just been really warming and inspiring to see Pacific civil society really working hard with their own governments back in their home countries and turning the tide against deep sea mining.
Are you concerned by the metals company? They have enacted the 2-year rule and told Reuters they plan to apply for a mining licence before the end of the year.
It is a concern to me to hear them make those bold kinds of comments, and all I can really say is that I expect that our world leaders, that world governments, doing what is the right thing to do by us, by civil society, by the health of our planet, and really looking at what is sustainable and what is just and equitable, not just for the state of the planet right now and for people here right now, but for many generations to come. And we have seen what I believe is a little glimpse of that, of governments showing that authority by voting out Michael Lodge, who some would say was an industry mouthpiece and operated outside the scope of his role. And so I feel like we are getting there, and we need to remember that the industry does not have any of those things at the centre of what they're trying to do. They have one thing which they are trying to do, which is make money. And So, going back to the ISA and what should be on the table at ISA, it is putting our ocean and our seabed before profits.